Imagine for a moment those sleepless nights when doubts seem to scream louder than your faith. When you lie down, but peace does not come. You start asking yourself, has God forgotten me? Are his promises delayed? Is all this even meant for me? Sometimes it feels like the promises of God are so far away, almost like trying to grasp the wind. The challenges ahead seem like mountains you'll never be able to climb. It's like victory is always just out of reach, and you've been fighting a losing battle since the beginning. But let me remind you of something you need to hear today. God is already working, right now, even when everything around you says otherwise. When life screams, there's no way, God is working behind the scenes. Why? Because he's faithful. In Joshua 17, we find the children of Manasseh in a similar situation. They had a promise from God, a clear word. The land of Canaan would be theirs. Sounds simple, right? But there was a catch. The land was full of powerful enemies, fortified cities, iron chariots, the most advanced military power of the time. To human eyes, the children of Manasseh were nothing more than simple farmers and shepherds. How could such ordinary people stand a chance against such strong armies? Now, imagine the fear and uncertainty. Those men, looking at the iron chariots, must have thought, we don't stand a chance. How are we going to win this? Maybe that's how you're feeling today. Maybe you're facing a mountain that seems impossible to climb, a challenge that feels way too big for you. But here's the point you need to grasp. What the children of Manasseh didn't know, and what you need to know, is that God was already preparing the way. He was already strengthening them before they could even see the victory. That's how God works. He operates in the unseen. He works behind the scenes. And what seems impossible to you, what your eyes tell you is not possible, is completely under the control of the most powerful hands in the universe. Listen closely. What is impossible for you is simple for God. But the Bible tells us the victory didn't come all at once. It wasn't immediate, but it was certain. It was in the process that they were strengthened, and it's in the process that God is also strengthening you. Maybe you're waiting for the final victory, but God is already strengthening you right now, in the middle of the battle. He's shaping your character, refining your faith, so that when the victory comes, you'll be ready to receive it. Sometimes, what you call God's silence is actually Him working behind the scenes, preparing something far greater than you can see right now. God's silence never means His absence. He's orchestrating something powerful in your favor, even when you can't see it. But what does that mean for you, right here, right now? It means that while you're worried about the size of the problem, God is focused on growing your faith. He didn't promise you a life without battles, but He did promise you that you would never face those battles alone. What seems impossible today is about to become tomorrow's testimony. Maybe, at this very moment, you're walking through a valley, facing your own Canaanites, and the iron chariots in front of you are paralyzing you with fear. But hear this. God doesn't see the obstacle the way you see it. Where you see limits, He sees opportunities. Where you see weakness, He sees strength being forged. True strength doesn't come from the absence of battles, but from the ability to keep trusting, even when the fight seems lost. God is strengthening you right now, in the middle of the process, and this process is what's going to equip you to overcome the giants standing in your way. It's not about what you see, it's about who is with you. And if God is with you, nothing can stop you. Remember, the victory may not be immediate, but it is guaranteed. God has already written the end of your story, and the last page says, victory. He is working even when you can't see it, and your faith is the key to unlocking that victory. Don't stop now. Don't be intimidated by the iron chariots, the mountains, or the giants. Look at the story of David. When he stood before the giant Goliath, it wasn't just the size of the giant that intimidated everyone. It was the history of defeat they carried in their minds. For 40 days, Goliath had come out to challenge the armies of Israel, mocking them and defying their God. Every single day, the soldiers of Israel heard his taunts and felt paralyzed by fear. No one dared to face him, and that fear of failure began to define them. They believed, deep in their souls, that victory was impossible and that they were destined for failure. You can't be like them. You can't let fear define who you are. You can't let doubt define who you are. You are a child of the King. You have an inheritance promised by God Himself. He will go to the ends of the universe. He will do the impossible, and He will change your entire reality, but He will never break the promise He made over your life. Now, David knew this. He knew he wasn't alone. He armed himself not with the best armor or the sharpest sword. He armed himself with faith in the God who had already delivered him from the lion and the bear. He knew that the same God who was with him in the fields would be with him in front of the giant. And that's what you need to hold on to today. Your past battles were just preparation for this moment. You are being shaped. You are being refined. And the same God who got you through before will get you through again. So, here's the truth. You can't let fear take root in your mind. God's silence is never His absence. His delay is not His denial. So keep walking. Keep trusting. Don't let fear dictate your next step. Let faith rise up like a fire within you, because God is faithful, and when the time is right, He will open the doors, part the waters, and bring you into the victory that has already been written for you. Your blessing is coming. Trust Him. Hold on, and keep believing. I invite you to pray with me in this moment. Heavenly Father, I come before you with a heart full of trust and gratitude. Even in the moments when my faith feels weak and my struggles seem overwhelming, I know you are working. Lord, remind me that you are preparing the way for me, even when I can't see it. I thank you because you are always near, orchestrating breakthroughs that I can't yet comprehend. Help me to see the greatness of your power. Though I may face giants, my trust is in you, the God who has never failed me. Lord, I surrender my fears and doubts to you today. I trust that every battle I face is not the end of the story, but part of your greater plan. Remind me, God, that the victory you have written for me is certain. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray. Amen.